Why, hello, my dear sinners. Welcome back to another sermon of Yap. That's right, I've returned with a new sound setup. I do hope you like. Let me know if I'm too loud, by the way. I'm still getting used to this one. So, a smidge. Yeah, that should be okay. How are we all doing? How's things? Hopefully you're Hopefully your day's going well. I can't speak today, apparently. So bear with me as I attempt basic communication. It's finally not as warm over here, at long last. Holy shit, it has been far too warm for me. I have been melting, chat. I've been melting. Also, do you know how many times in videos I say chat? I'm so brain rotten. I realised if I'm making a video, I'll just address the audience as chat. I'm too used to it now. It's encoded. It's deep inside my cerebrum. But long last, it's Thursday. It's Yapper Day. And you know what that means, chat. Know what that means. It's the day where we all get together and have a nice long chat about whatever random bullshit crosses either of our minds. Well, I suppose I'll start with my week, shall I? Obviously, I've done a little video. For those of you who aren't able to attend streams, don't worry. I have a little video I make on Wednesdays normally. It should be out next Tuesday. I need to finish the editing on it. There's a few little bits I need to do, but the Kerbal Diaries are going quite nicely, I would say. They are... I think I'm doing okay with them. Hopefully you're enjoying them. They are definitely a lot more approachable to make than my more ambitious reviews, but those aren't going away, I don't think. I don't think they are, anyway. Sorry, I am all over the place today. It has been a long day. Right, so this week has been another busy one. Shocker, I know. But all around this busyness, chat, things have happened. Yes, things have happened. Good things as well. Some annoying things, but that's all the day job, thankfully. The good things have all happened here. So, sorry if I keep looking there, it's because I'm trying to make sure that no wasp comes in my room again. I already had one before stream, so I was a little late to spot the thing out. But yeah, so we have had a lovely little addition with the GoXLR Mini. As you can hopefully hear, I'm now able to use the XLR part of my microphone, so it should be coming through a lot more crispy, a lot more higher quality. And it lets me get better mics down the road should I wish. I have the setup now, chat. Now, a little fun fact for any of you wanting to invest in a GoXLR Mini, or a GoXLR in general. If you use a wireless headset, you're going to need a 3.5 to 3.5 male-to-male audio jack. Otherwise, it won't work. Well, it will, but you just can't hear through your headset using the GoXLR, which you want to do because you want it all going through that. It's really annoying when it isn't in place, but I thankfully was able to set up something to make it all work. But once I got that all set up, I of course made sure that my audio sounded as good as I could. But obviously, you can tell me, how is it sounding? Do feel free to let me know, as I still in the getting used to phase of this stuff. I've never messed around with this kind of stuff before, but it's not as difficult as I thought it was going to be to set up. It was actually pleasantly simple. I was just being anxious about it. You know what well, you may or may not know what I'm like with change. I'm not great with it, but I'm comfy. But we now have an XLR mic. So, we're doing good. We're doing good. No more are we tied to the USB. No. We are liberated from the little USB except for the one that goes from the XLR to the booster, but that's beside the point. Other than that, we have an update on 3.0. Yes. We have a big old update. That very first part of it is complete. The base art and the first outfit are both done. That's right, they're both done. So, what does that mean, Sinners? Well, that means that very soon we'll be getting bits for the second outfit and the pet. I believe the second outfit's being done first. The pet should be the quickest of all of it, to my understanding. Of course, we got a lovely little bean. A little beanie fella. And I found some people who look pretty good quality to do the rigging. They look really good, their stuff does. I've approached them and got an idea of, what they can do for me. And they seem pretty good quality. Like, they seem really good, honestly. I'm probably underselling them. They seem pretty good, honestly. I like the look of the stuff, so... Now, I want to see what they can do as far as, outfit changes. Because I have seen some... I hope that's not too loud. I have seen some pretty damn good, rigging stuff to be done for, excuse me, to be done for, outfit changes. So I'm curious what we can come up with. And also things like the visors sliding out. Because, yeah, that's the whole thing. I believe they can do V-Bridger, but I will double check. Because I'm thinking I want V-Bridger. It seems like a smart move. To me, anyway. And now that I understand what it is and how to use it, I feel like I want to use it now. I will say the new model is very detailed. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. So many little details on it. Obviously, you'll only see some of them most of the time, but it'll be good on a good zoom in, let me tell you. You'll enjoy the zoom in. Ugh. Other than that, Sinners, what else have I been up to? Well, other than suffering the day job, you know how it is with these things. So it's light on it as well. Other than suffering the day job, I have been thinking, I know, dangerous of me. I've been thinking a few hobby things, actually. As you know, I've been debating whether I want to dabble in some Horus Heresy. And I've been having a little nosy at things like the White Templars. The White Scars. I mixed Black Templars and White Scars together there. I think the White Templars are a thing. I think. The Silver Templars are, anyway. But I've been thinking of either trying them or making some kind of, really messed up force filled with apothecaries who are there for anything but doctorly things. Either a Emperor's Children, maybe World Eaters, being Word Bearers, or something like that. And their entire point is they're mostly there for corralling their experiments and collecting other gene seed. And just generally plying their trade in the most horrifying of ways. The other option is potentially a Black Shield company who are sort of chimeric gene seeds, so they splice their gene seed over Astartes to make this weird hybrid. That would be pretty good if Mark V armor was regularly available, because that stuff fits very nicely for a more ragtag force. But it's something I've not been able to really try yet, so I don't know. Excuse me. But again, I don't know what the general gist is with that sort of stuff. It might just be that it's a... what's the word I'm looking for? A little pipe dream I never do. Or maybe I just feel like it's too much work. I don't know. It's something I've thought about. Obviously, to lead such a force, I would need something like a Ibis Medicae, something like that. Basically, like a officer level apothecary. Super doctor. But he can wear Terminator armor. He can do the thick stuff. or go on a bike. I think other apothecaries can do this too, but the Primus Medicae can definitely go on a bike, which is important. Having a little bit of allowing, some feel no pains for starters, and also re-rolling it will not die for anything that has it. Very nice. Very nice to have. But other than that, what else have I been up to? I've been sort of thinking a little bit, chat, as well, as to what I want to do on live stuff a little bit. I've had a few thoughts. Obviously, as you know, we're dipping back into Total War again. I expect this campaign to potentially be a little shorter, but I don't know. It might not be. It might be. It's hard to say because I don't know when the next DLC comes out, which is aggravating a little bit, because I'd like a time frame. Because, obviously, the new update will invalidate my current campaign, and also, you know, it's... You know, you're going to jump on the new thing. But obviously, I don't know when it's coming out, which is aggravating. Very aggravating. But, hey, we will see when it comes out, most of the time. That's the plan, anyway. Again, I don't know when all this is going to happen. It is a bit frustrating. They've been very quiet, the whole thing. They've been very silent, everything. So I really don't know exactly what's happening on Creative Assembly's front. But we have a while, potentially, so a new campaign will be started, I think. A new campaign will be started, a new... well... challenge, if you will. I'm doing Legendary because we want to have a real challenge. And I think Legendary is a good level. For me, anyway, at this point. I think it's going to be a challenging one, and it's a Chaos faction. You guys voted for Tamakan, also known as if Queso and Asmongold had a little case of polymerization. Any of you who, the 5 of you, know what a Yu-Gi-Oh reference is. And that, I think, should be a fun little campaign. Very slow going early on, though. But when it gets to the mid-game, it should pick up. Nurgle's one of those slow burners. But when it does pick up, ooh, it's good. It's good. Also, Tamakan's a lot of fun. Getting past Kovaleg is going to be one of our early challenges. By early, I mean first 5 turns. Legitimately. The first 5-turn challenge is Kovaleg. Archeon shouldn't be an issue. We can probably make peace with him and keep my back secure. But most likely we want to push down into Cathay and begin ransacking Cathay. Most likely, I would say. Other than that, we could always head towards the Empire. Go through the Darklands and do what Tamakan couldn't do in lore. Take over Nuln, erect a throne of chaos, and turn the entire Empire into a blighted hellscape. Rotten and filthy, as Nurgle intended. There's a lot of things we can do. His chieftains also give us so many options. I mean, the Dreadquake Mortar for starters, I mean, come on. Dreadquake Mortars? What more do you want? Well, honestly, they're just so good. Other than our, what do you call it, Soul Grinder, it'd be our best, in fact, that is our best artillery. The Soul Grinder is obviously like the main Nurgle artillery. Gotta love that thing I put in. Nearly a 40k unit, really, but it's cool, so fuck it. Plus, they're demons, you know what? They're allowed to not make a bit of sense, because the demons are just well, the demons. I know, a bit, how shall we say, uncouth of me, an angel playing a demon faction, but hey, it is what it is. That's the plan for the next 2 days. Otherwise, we of course have another session of A Voice in the Dark, our tabletop RPG set in the 41st millennium. Yes, using the Dark Heresy 2e rule set. That I have been somewhat plotting out. I will confess, not as much as I wish I had. You know when you just try and do so many things and you do nothing by the end? That's been me. That's been me for the last while now. So, I'm annoyed I wasn't able to get a bit more done, but at the same time, I'm hopeful that what I have gotten done will be enough to carry me through, and I can fill in bits where I need. That's my hope and my prayer. Of course, I don't know exactly how it's going to go. We're going for a more slower paced sort of arc this time. Less action, bit more intrigue, bit more investigation. Problem, obviously, is we're going to have to make sure that we have enough compelling things to do. And I've got some experience doing more intrigue and stuff, but it's definitely one of those things I need a bit more time with. A part of me worries I've not done it right. I don't know. I might be just being too harsh on myself. I realise I've extended myself very thin, chat. I'm not going to lie. I've spread myself very thin. But I'm hoping not too thin. Not fully decided what I'm going to do as far as my scheduling. But I mentioned this in my video, but I'll mention it here as well. I'm debating about Sundays, other than when I'm doing something. I've had this thought before, but I don't know if I want to go ahead and go actually make it a maybe day. Maybe. I don't know. Part of me kind of still wants to keep doing stuff on Sundays, but also part of me thinks, am I burning myself out? It's a problem, because I want to keep doing stuff. I want to try and grow this a little bit. I want to try and give you guys some fun. But obviously I want to make sure that I'm not destroying myself, because then no one's having fun. So I'm in a bit of a pickle. A whole ton of pickle. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. Otherwise, yeah, I guess I've just been thinking about what else I want to do. Because I like Total War. I do. But I guess part of me doesn't want that to define me, necessarily. But I don't know. I don't know. And maybe, you know, hey, Time. Hey, how you doing? How's things, Time? Long time no see. How are you doing, my friend? How's your day going for you? Sip a drink. Hopefully I don't sound too loud, by the way, Time. Though do let me know if I do sound a bit loud. Or, like, you know, too quiet or whatever. Like I said, this audio setup's new to me, so I'm not familiar with all the particulars of it. I mean, I'm alive, can't complain. That's good. I mean, hey, you're alive. Yeah. That's what you want. Hope I'm not too loud, by the way. Let me know if I'm blowing eardrums out. You sound good to me. Excellent. I know originally I didn't sound much different, but I've messed with the gain and stuff a little bit. Just to make sure that it all sounds good. I know when I was speaking to Rouge the other day, he reckoned I sounded a bit louder. But I think that's a good thing. My mic was always a bit too quiet. So now it's a bit louder. Within reason, of course. Yes, we now have our fancy Go XLR setup. I'm now a real streamer, guys. I'm a real streamer. But no, in all seriousness, it's nice to be able to actually have more direct audio control. I'm going to rant about the audio. Listen, if you'd have seen me a year ago, I was obsessed with audio quality. So, past me would be very happy with current me, I guess, in finding a good place with the audio. I can also split off Discord now, which means I can actually make my guests sound louder, which is amazing. I'm still working about... I wonder if I don't respond. Oh, no worries. No, don't worry about it, man. It's all good. Not a problem. No worries at all. If you're still walking, my friend. You gotta keep an eye where you're going. Don't you worry. I'll keep you company on your walk, wherever you're walking. Be it home or somewhere nice. Hopefully either of those. Hopefully not to work. I know some peeps are going to work at this time, depending on where you are. Which, my condolences there. My sincerest condolences. Anyone has to work today. Oh. Horrible. Horrible, horrible. I guess, though, for them it's also morning, so... Still horrible, I guess. I'm glad this week's nearly over, though. The day job is killing me, chat. It is. It is killing me. This week. So I could do a break from the place. Also the heat. My word, the heat. It's been so warm. I'm gonna have to start installing coolers in myself at this rate, I swear. I have to have liquid-cooled Angel at this fucking rate. Just to handle the insane heat. That reminds me, I was given a little video, actually, that I could potentially throw something together with. So, I might see if I can't throw a little something together for you guys. Maybe. I'll see what I can do, but I might try a little, like... I don't know. Maybe a little tease at the end of the next video or something. Or its own video entirely, I don't know. I'm still thinking on how I want to use it. It's going to be a ways out, though. Everything should be done from the art side around August time, all being well. And then the rigging can start. Which will probably take some time. I honestly expect this to be a New Year thing. If it could happen around Christmas time, that'd be a beautiful present to me. And for you. But, obviously, rigging takes time as well. The art takes time, rigging takes time. These things all take time. They're very complex things to do. And I'm one of those people who like to make sure the model's ready before anything else. Like, I don't want to set a date until I know the model's going to be ready. Also, it saves me a bit of time on rush fees. But... So it probably won't be ready for... Well, I would be shocked if it was ready for our anniversary. Which is tragic, but... At least we can probably start the new year with a bang. That's my hope, anyway. Oh, it'll be... Worst case scenario, new year. Best case scenario, end of this year. That'd be nice. That'd be nice with Cap Year off. But we are very close to our anniversary, chat. September 15th. That's when I started this little venture. God, it feels... September 15th, 2023, I think, is when I started. Oh, that feels like a lifetime ago now. That does feel like a lifetime ago. I don't know if I like the feeling of it. But we're only going to get stronger, chat. We are. And I think a new flashy me help with that. Like I said, it's very detailed. It's very beautifully detailed. Sorry if I'm yawning, by the way. Oh, I've tried to keep myself awake. New flash you? Yes. It's in the works. I think I teased it. How flash are we talking? Well, reasonably flat. I'd say reasonably flashy. Like, you know, the second outfit in particular has got some glowy lights on it, so you know, quite flashy, I'd say. Unless you mean that kind of flashy, which in that case it's probably got a little bit more skin than this. But actually, yes and no. It has a bit more skin. In a way, it's got a bit more skin, but also doesn't, because a lot of it's like a skin-tight bodysuit underneath the outfit. However, that part of the outfit probably can't be shown outside of a certain category because Twitch is afraid of my glorious virtual hips, Jet. It can't handle the angelic hip. So you probably can't show that part of it off. But put it this way. I physically can't nip slip the camera. I can't now, but I definitely can't with that one. Even if I took all the clothes off. The undersuit is, well, simply put, pretty covering. It's about as covering. Well, actually, it's about as covering as bunny suits, but there's more covering than that. It's more covering than that, so pretty good. Except for the hips, my scandalous hips. I have to keep my main outfit on, or my second outfit on, to keep those puppies hidden. Can't let Twitch see the scandalous hips. Oh yeah, yeah. But you see, if Twitch randomly decides it wants to actually apply its rules, then yeah. They are tasty hips. Don't worry though. Don't worry. Plenty of thigh to show off though. Plenty of thigh. You know me, chat. Plenty of thighs to go around. You will have some delicious thigh meat. I just realised there was an ad going on. The thing. Kills me. I should really remember to use my mute buttons. I have the buttons to do it now. They're all within arm's reach. But I always forget to do it. I'll get used to using it. Oh. Crack my back a little bit. Real quick. Jesus. I swear. I need to work my posture. My posture's atrocious. It's diabolical posture. It really is. I'll have to fix it up. All being well, I can do that anyway. There we go, remember to do it that time. Yes, welcome back from your advertisement. Hopefully you didn't get to see anything too weird. I know what the ads are like. They are a bit strange. But yes, the hips won't lie, and I'm pretty sure I've gotten a little bit thicker places. I'll put it this way. Got more of an ass. Much more of an ass than I used to have. I'm pretty sure the chest size went up a little bit too. I feel like I went up a size. Could be wrong. Do you do art at all? Me myself, I don't draw. I would like to one day, but I don't myself. But I do paint miniatures. I have some minis I've painted. If you're in the Discord, there's the little hobby section. and it's filled with my many painted miniatures, so I can paint stuff. Like miniatures, at least. When I feel like it. It's been a while since I've really had the drive in me to do it, admittedly, which is kind of sad, but... Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's really satisfying, honestly. I just have little room to put stuff, but... Honestly, it's always nice to look at the completed stuff and be like, yeah, I did that. So, yeah, I've done things of various sizes. From, just little guys to full-on Imperial Knights, which are pretty fucking big. And like I said, it's satisfying. Satisfying seeing them come together. I've not quite had the... What's the word I'm looking for? I've not quite had this, like... Ooh. I do have some Plague Marines, actually. Honestly, Death Guard Plague Marines are great to paint, because you can... The thing is, even if you're not very good at painting, okay, you can kind of make use of the fact that they're dirty, and you can kind of use, like, various washes and stuff to kind of make them look grimy. And if they look disgusting and grimy, well, there you go, you've got it. You've got the look. I actually went with a very 30k look for them. So the Death Guard back in 30k were sort of a cream white armoured bunch with green shoulder pads. Modern 40k they have that sort of grim kind of green look. So I painted them like that, but I made them really hella grimy. Use some paints to make them look kind of wet, and also use like a lot of like rust, sort of dry brush to like make it look all corroded in places, and also a bit of like the blood for the blood god stuff, just to really make them look like they've been in like the thick of it. Like one of the ones I've built has this big old great axe, and I made that look really disgusting and grimy, and sort of slicked with blood, to really kind of make it look like this sort of grim, imposing thing coming towards you. I also have a big artillery piece for them. That was okay to paint. That took a while. That took a long time to paint up, but it looks good. One of their, like... They've got a lot of, like, demon engine stuff the Death Guard do. And you can really kind of go to town with the demon engines. But an interesting factor with them is the Death Guard don't really use much vehicles anymore. The lore is kind of they killed off most of their vehicle crews because most of their vehicle crews were loyalists. Exactly. And you know what? They don't feel the pain anymore. So I have them guys painted up, like I say, 30k kind of colour scheme, but very traditional Nurgle. And then I've got, for Age of Sigmar, a Herald of Decay, which is a really cool looking rider on like this like sickened horse, with this big old scythe on him. And I went with kind of like a blue colour scheme, because I wanted to make them look drowned. Like they were bloated, like drowned bodies. So the guy himself, like I've made them look all very, very wet. And the horse looks very like bruised and like very like pale skin, like just looks dead. And the guy riding is like all the armor's like kind of corroded in places, and the cloth's all wet. He's got no skin showing in the Harbinger's case, but I think I streamed painting up one of the Blight Lords being done up, and I made them again very bloated looking, bruised looking. But they have like kind of your guts hanging out, that kind of stuff. So Plague Marines are good. They're a good thing to paint, honestly. And like you say, you can really kind of make them as gory as you want. Like, if you want to really live up to the walking Space Marine zombie look, go for it. Because, honestly, they rock that look. Like, the Death Guard are just this slow, pondering force of literal zombies. They're still sentient. They're a really fucked up thing. most of them, if not all of them, can't even take their armor off anymore. Their armor is part of their skin now. And they're bulging out their armor in places. Mortarion himself's like this kind of like corrupted looking saint almost. I think Typhus is probably one of the least overtly looking guys. Although you could argue that's because he will, unlike the rest of his legion, Typhus fully embraced Nurgle. Typhus invited Nurgle in. The only thing that's kind of different with him is he's got these like vents which spray out like the Destroyer Hive. Like the inside of his armor and flesh are like host to this horrific virus carried by insects created by Nurgle. Yeah, there's some really like good artwork for Nurgle stuff. I will say some of the demons maybe look a little more on the cartoony end, but some of the older depictions of them look really horrific, because like Nurgle's demons, they're meant to be plague victims. The Plague Bearers are the result of the very, very dangerous affliction known as Nurgle's Rot. Those who come out the other side are demons now. This destroys you and makes your flesh into a demon. I don't know, Nurgle's got that funny side to him, but I think once you never forget Nurgle's really, genuinely horrifying side. Because he's like inevitability. That's what he is. His entire concept is like unchanging inevitability. He is the immovable to Tzeentch's constantly moving. He's very much the beginning and the end, like a cycle. The certainty of death and that kind of stuff. It's very much, Nurgle's very much a god of death. In many respects. You could argue Khorne is to a point, but Khorne's more bringing it. Nurgle is saying you're guaranteed it. But doesn't say to cry about it, just says embrace it and live. But at the same time, he's also the god of like cycles and stuff. So life does tend to come from Nurgle, but not necessarily life you want to deal with. So you could definitely go with like the kind of growing plagues coming behind the marine and stuff. Like, there's a lot of good terrain stuff you can do with Nurgle. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff you can do. I mean, let's be honest, there's a reason you'll see Nurgle everywhere, right? Think about it, how many games do you see Nurgle? Darktide, is it Demon Hunter, I think? That one we get to play the Grey Knights. There's... oh, let me think. Vermintide's another one. There's a fair... I mean, obviously Total War's got him. He's a big part in like some older games I can't remember the name of now. But he's been around a lot. Like... I mean, that Doom-esque kind of shooter that exists. Bolt Gun, that's it, Bolt Gun. He's in that. Like, the only god to have as much screen time as he's had is probably Tzeentch recently. Being in Space Marine 2, being in the Age of Sigmar game that came out, I forgot the name of. He's obviously in Total War. He's... oh, what's that seen Tzeentch? Recently. I think there's been a couple of times with Tzeentch. Khorne, not for a while, but he's been a pretty constant face in a lot of various bits, like the start of Age of Sigmar had Khorne. In a very like favourable time there. And I guess to be fair with Khorne, he's quite easy to market as Warhammer because, let's be honest, his entire roster looks like it belongs in the front of literally any heavy metal album cover. His champions look metal as fuck. I mean, Chaos always has an aesthetic. Chaos Undivided looks good as well, but Khorne just has that, like, edge to it. Slaanesh is the one you rarely ever see. If we ever have a game starring Slaanesh, that'd be very interesting. Because they're always really reserved with Slaanesh. The other gods they kind of get wacky with a little bit, but Slaanesh is always the reserved one. Because if they go wacky with Slaanesh, they get censored. Because Slaanesh uncensored, well, technically isn't just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But Slaanesh gets kind of dark. In a way, the others don't. But I say that, they're all dark, but I think the Slaanesh gets dark in a way. Like, you've got to imagine these sadomasochistic freaks who actually enjoy suffering. Not just what they do, but what's inflicted upon them. These sensation-hungry adrenaline junkies chasing the next high wherever they go, and they literally crave any kind of like obsessive thing. They'll obsess over a person, they'll obsess over violence, over eating, drinking. They're really like, and you know, they can be in any level of society. You could argue the same for the others, but other than Tzeentch, it's hard for Nurgle to take root in the noble class. But it's very easy to take root in the poor. Khorne, you might see it in dueling arenas, but let's be honest, it starts on the ground, because Khorne's not subtle. Most of the time. Exceptions. Tzeentch, again, that one can be pretty much anywhere, but let's be honest, it's someone with power and the ability to do change. Slaanesh, though, can be anywhere. So it could be played very interestingly. Especially like a pleasure world. Very much a Slaanesh-coded place. They are official planets, like they're there to like relax and R&R in, but you know, you could easily have a Slaanesh cult there. The people there giving the R&R are a bit too good at it, and a bit too wanting to do it, and yeah. Although I always liked Slaanesh's dichotomy of the demonettes lure you in, and then it's the Keeper of Secrets that, for those who are too far in, you know, they're the ones who know the most fucked up things. And I don't know, I think like Total War Warhammer is the only game recently where Slaanesh has taken any kind of like spotlight. Even then, it's only till, well, when that next DLC comes out that Slaanesh will be in a really good spot, but then that kind of goes for every faction, Game 3, because they left it in a really rough patch, honestly. It annoys me a lot about that game stuff. It does. Hopefully they've got their shit together now. But no, Death Guard and just Nurgle in general. If you want a nice, kind of easily approachable painting scheme, like most Death Guard, if you want to go with the traditional paint scheme, Death Guard green, Agrax Earthshade wash. Most of your work's done there. Paint the guns black if you want, put a few metallics on there if you want. Again, douse them in some like Agrax if you really want. Or some like streaking grime if you're feeling more technical. But you have to do that. And that's it, really. Maybe wash some of the flesh in like a kind of reddish or pinkish kind of wash if you want, you know? You could do that, certainly. Use a bit of blood for the blood god to kind of make it look like it's like weeping blood and stuff, and like make it really like thick so it's like horrible, like congealed blood. I apologise if you're eating, by the way. But there's a lot you can do with it, and there's a lot I like about the Death Guard. I will say, out of all the Primarchs, I don't like Mortarion much. I will explain. Mortarion had a perfectly functional legion that was competent, efficient, and very honourable in the Dusk Raiders. He converted them into this dishonourable mess who use attrition warfare and basically threw away the Terranborn. And in fact, was pretty much slaughtered them all. Now, it's not unlikely, because a lot of the traitors Terranborn did kind of, how shall we say, stay loyal. There's a reason Isstvan 3 happened. I think it's Isstvan 3. Yeah, I think 3 was the... what do you call it? I forget what they called it now. It wasn't the Scouring or something else, but basically they purged the loyalist elements. Some more directly, like Angron, where he went down to personally deal with them, others just virus bombed them. But to be fair, the loyalists on that planet held them off. And one loyalist Death Guard was the sole reason anyone even knew the heresy had happened. Genuinely. So you can thank the Death Guard partly for knowing about the heresy. It's also their fault for the anti-Librarius edict that got put out. Basically, the Thousand Sons went too far. A bunch of people went, hey, they aren't being safe with this shit, and it's obviously a problem. Look at them. So, and some people tried to defend them, like the Emperor's Children and White Scars, but I think the way the rest of the Imperium and the Emperor saw it, Psychers were dangerous. And Psychers in the Space Marines, really fucking dangerous. And to be fair, Magnus just wasn't good at arguing his point, because his entire point was, oh, knowledge should be shared. It's like, yeah, but Magnus, you were delving into stuff that's sorcery. And, like, conjuring demons and stuff. And it didn't help that people were very against Magnus, because of how blasé he was. Unfortunately for Magnus as well, he was kind of made traitor by Leman Russ being tricked into it, killing him, basically. He kind of came back as a fragment and thus ascended to demonhood. And his other fragments were either absorbed by someone else or destroyed. But, yeah. We're back. No worries, buddy. No worries. But yeah, it's one of them. You feel sorry for the Thousand Sons of it. They're cool. They've got a cool Egyptian theme, but man, they get a rough end of it. I'm curious how they're going to play in this coming edition, because second edition fucked them really bad. It's a shame, because they were cool. Like, they're a whole legion of Psychers. Like, everyone, you guys, the Magic Man. That's cool. The Egyptian Magic Men with their own, like, unique battle automata that could, like, connect with their minds and all sorts of cool shit. I know they've got them in the 40k again, but those aren't the same. No, those aren't the same. Not even close. They're okay, but they just don't. They don't fit to me. The design feels wrong. They should have been designed more like the 30k ones, but mutated. Personally, that's what I'd say. It would help as well if they had their melee guys from 30k, but rubricked. Like, you look at Emperor's Children. They have a corrupted version of Palatine Blades. They have their Noise Marines, which they had the Cacophony back in 30k. And they even have their own, like, dedicated melee infantry and dedicated ranged infantry who are all about perfecting, like, different arts. Like, the ranged guys are about, like, being the perfect Space Marine. They're obsessively, like, trying to outdo everyone in the art of being an Astartes. Where's my music stopped? There we go. Okay, right. It's been a bit delayed. We're in a lull point of the music. But yeah, I feel like I went off on a massive tangent about 30k. My apologies. But yeah, I would like to get into 30k. I like a lot of the aesthetic. Also, part of me just kind of, I don't know, I was partly interested in getting into it because the rules don't update as often, but that might not be the case. But the models all look nice. Even the non Space Marine stuff, it's good. The plastic AdMech, got some of them, look great. The Solar Auxilia, by the way, fucking hell. It's a shame they'll die in droves to Space Marines, but fuck me, they look nice. They look really nice, man. Very Roman. Just, well, these kind of like really advanced spacesuits that also have like battle plate built into it. It's just, I don't know, it's something you don't see in modern 40k because most of the Solar Auxilia were lost. unfortunately. That and any that were left probably were split up into the Navy or something, because they kind of split the Imperial forces in twain a little bit, because yeah, they didn't want to have someone else having all that power. Half the issue of the heresy, you see. Horus could command half the Imperium, which was a problem. Also the legions. 100,000 space marines can conquer a solar system in months. That's ridiculous. So having groups of 1,000 instead is perhaps better to avoid threat. Like, half the Imperial infrastructure was changed because of the heresy, because of like the chance of treachery. Like, commissars were made a thing to handle potential heresy. Also, the religion became a thing, which was an issue. Like, post-Emperor on the throne, everyone became hella religious, which is ironic, because that shit used to be demonized. Well, that and the Holy Book was written by probably one of the biggest traitors of them all, Logar. Like, Erebus might have convinced him, but let's be honest, if it wasn't for Logar preaching to his legion to turn traitor, they wouldn't have done so. If it wasn't for him willingly throwing his own men into the Eye of Terror to have absolute horror done upon them, and to have demons forcefully go inside his men. Like, I'm not even kidding. The Gel Vorbak didn't know what was happening to them. The guys who became that, because it was the first time Marines had been possessed, and it's kind of non-replicatable these days, because most time people are giving themselves to demons, whereas back then, if a demon wanted in, they had to force their way in. But also, the end result was a symbiotic being that could switch between the more demonic form and the human form. And just in general, was just hella strong. Like, if you've heard about the Custodes, how they can just throw Space Marines around, yeah, these things can fucking kill Custodes. Gel Vorbak are the coolest fucking possessed, and their aesthetic goes hard as hell. Also, they can still use ranged weapons, unlike modern possessed, which are not even close. Modern possessed are cool, don't get me wrong, I love the possessed. I really love the possessed. I honestly have been tempted to pick some up. Like, it would really all in the world, the word bearers kind of look. You know, lead them with a master possession, that kind of shit. Or pick up the actual Gel Vorbak themselves, honestly. They're kind of where the red armor started as well. Although a lot of them were donning the red armor after Monarchia, because it's like a symbolic kind of thing. You know, having your prize city burned to the ground is, If you want a perspective of how fucked up that was to them, that would be like in the Crusades. Like, basically they worshipped the Emperor. Monarchia was their, like, Jerusalem, almost. It would be like if in the Crusades, God himself appeared and smited the place. It'd be that devastating. That's how devastated they were. If you want, like, a comparison to what, in our modern day history. So, yeah, that's why they went off the deep end. Because their God rejected them. So they found gods that didn't. And, well, then they went way too far. It's why they have, like, corrupted guys way before anyone else. I mean, the Sons of Horus became pretty fucked up at the end, but, like, the word bearers were already there. I think the Sons of Horus are, like, their own possessed and shit by the end. But then, you know, Horus was pretty fucking corrupted. Though he never went full demon. Didn't really need to, though. He kind of was on par with the Emperor. Ish. Anyway. Wasn't like he could exactly match the man, but I mean, you know. He had his own tarot. He was juiced up by all four gods, which is not very common. The gods of chaos do not often work together. I mean that, they really don't. Also, the Primarchs slowly falling to chaos and, like, turning demonic. There's a whole bit where Angron is, technically speaking, being forced to stay in the realm of the mortal realm. Like, he is in pain, by the way. Like, they have chained him up and are killing people left and right to keep him there. But it's like, he is in agony because Khorne is demanding him to return to his realm. But obviously they can't let him do that. Because they need him. But also he's a feral beast. The nails weren't bad enough, and the nails are pretty fucking bad for bolt beaters. He was long gone. Keep that advert. I'll spare you a lot from the advert for a little bit. But yeah, he was, oh boy. He was in a rough spot. Was. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, the others weren't great either. Mortarion was forced into it. Fulgrim, yeah, he chose it. He fully fucking chose it. And Magnus had no choice. Fulgrim, like I say, he overcame his possession and just went down the deep end. They could have had it that he was still possessed. That the demon through him became a demon prince. And good Fulgrim was still in the painting, but no, they changed that. Now, by the time he got back, real Fulgrim... Yeah, real Fulgrim turned real fast. That was entirely his own doing, too. Nearly killed Perturabo doing it. Speaking of Perturabo, unironically, a really good character arc from a petulant man-child to a wise and quite decisive leader. Like, there's a point where Angron gets off his leash, and Perturabo, not a demon by the way, beats the fuck out of him into submission. I'm not a huge Iron Warrior stan, but I can respect the fuck out of that. Like, Angron Transfigured's not as big as Angron Full Demon Prince in 40k, but he's fucking big. And he's no slouch in combat. But I guess as a more of a beast, he's like more wild and all over the place. But the raw power is still there. Very much still there. Also, rest in peace to World Eaters Librarius. Yes, they had one, and they fucking tried. They tried. Their Primarch. But, no, the gods demanded he ascend, and my fucking word did he ascend. Scared the fuck out of Gilliam. Then again, if you watched someone just explode into a red-winged beast, screaming bloody murder at you, yeah, no, you would run too. You would run too. He was tremendously powerful. And has only gotten stronger. I don't know. I'm thinking. There's a few ideas I've got. But I don't know exactly if I want to go down. I've got, like I said, I've got some AdMech. And I am a little concerned for them because I saw an article, they were like, hey, the AdMech used to be known for being quite tough, having less models, but now because they have like weapons that do multiple wounds now rather than just a wound. So they can get killed more easily, which I'm like, that wasn't an issue in the 2nd edition because they could still be killed very easily. Robots weren't very good in 2nd edition. Which is tragic because I fucking love the robots in 30k. Like, you can take them with legions, you can take them with Auxilia, but the Mechanicus can take, obviously, all their stuff. I will say that robots, man. The robots are so fucking good. You know, they all look way more like Imperial tech. Unlike the Castellan that you have in 40k. You look at the Castellax or any of the other ones they've got, oh, they look so good. And they're pretty big, some of them, too. They go, like, from, like, bigger than a Marine to these towering building-sized robots that have, like, these fuck-off big plasma mortars and huge-ass las cannons. Even flying ones. If you add Dart Mechanic come into the mix as well, they've got a few toys there. I don't know if they're going to make them full size, but during the little civil war on Mars that happened, because that's where the AdMech live, they pulled out some literal AI. Like, AI is banned in 40k. Because it's seen as, like, abominable intelligence, and AI nearly killed humanity before. But they unleashed it, and it was corrupt, and it was angry. And it could do all kinds of horrible shit, but also the kind of, like, machines it would create, fucking horrifying. Genuinely horrifying stuff. And yeah, they wanted blood. Like, they were bloodthirsty. And chaos corrupted, by the way. Yeah, chaos robots are a thing. Demons can be digital, and it fucks stuff up. It's a real problem. Yeah, you get a virus. Yeah, nah, you get a virus over in 40k, and that virus could be cyber demons that are going to fuck your shit up in a major way. Like, no cap, they will ruin you. Especially if you're, you know, like a tech priest and very bionic. Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with, you know, all my cyber bits. Yeah, it's definitely not something you want in the wire. In fact, I think the only bits of Mars that didn't get completely fucked over immediately by the unleashing of the, what's it called? Scrap code, that's it. Was anything using the new sphere technology, because the AdMech basically reinvented Wi-Fi. But it was Wi-Fi that could link to your mind. Yeah, they're like mind impulse units which can connect to stuff. But the new sphere is a whole thing. It's essentially like a Wi-Fi sort of system. It's pretty advanced. You can go between ships and stuff, and like, it's weird, right? When you hear about 40k, it's so regressed. Even 30k, they lost a lot of tech. They had way more back then. But it's like, at the same time, as regressed as some things are, they have warp-capable vessels. Now, yes, they have to enter literal hell, but they have them. They've got jet bikes, which are cool as fuck back in 30k. The jet bikes, man. Oh, they're cool. And, you know, you've got, like, the dreadnoughts, the whole concept of them, which, I will say, small tangent. I know I'm going on tangents all fucking day. I fucking love dreadnoughts, man. The idea of a mech altered by a dead man, oh, it's metal. The more I think about it, the Imperium sure loves their tentacle-like wires going into their bodies. Oh, they do. Oh, they do. Loads of tentacles. Also, hello, Balls. How are you doing, my friend? Always good to see you as well. It's good to see you, my friend. How you doing? But yeah, they do like their tentacles, my friend. They love their tentacles. You can only imagine what the Chaos AdMech must be like. Especially the more Slaneshi ones. You could maybe argue Gene Stealer cultists like them too, but that's because they're weird round Tyranids. Good enough. Actually, waiting on a GPU to arrive right now. Ooh, new GPU? Wait, what are you getting? You might have... Ooh, I feel like you might have said, actually. Oh, you were talking about it the other day, when I last saw you, about getting a new GPU. I don't know if you said what you were going for, though, in the end. Was it an AMD? I feel like it was an AMD. I feel like I remember talking about the fact that AMD is, like, genuinely almost as, if not as good as Disney AMD. I thought it was. I remember specifically ranting on about Nvidia being not that far ahead anymore. And that AMD was actually quite a comparable, like, solution for a lot less money, like, way more affordable. Entry-level RTX 6000, no, not flashiest. The RX 6600. Okay. I must admit, I don't exactly know how beefy they can get, but hey, like, posted some whips of drawings done over the years. Oh, did you? Look. Ooh. Hey. Holy shit, man, that's fucking cool. It's some women you'd be like, I believe, is that Black Swan from Honkai Star Rail? Very nice, very aesthetic choice. I'm guessing that is the second one. That looks like a lady covered in venom. Very nice, we do like. And then the anime, that last one in the yellow coat is the anime girl mascot for the Vatican, if I remember rightly. Oh, it's very nice, man. Holy shit. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, man, if you just said you've drawn them a few times, I'd believe you. When you say you didn't draw them very often, like, man, that's. Actually, 1 second. Let me smack a little heart on that. But holy fuck, man, that's awesome. Holy shit. I'm all right. Hell yeah. The one I got is 2 and GPU. That's fair balls. You definitely want some fans built on them. The fans on them are nice. If anyone's wondering where I'm looking at this, by the way, it's in the Discord. It's the Art and Hobby Share. Please feel free to share your art and hobby. It can't all be just me. Oh. But honestly, I need to, like... I should get back to painting some stuff. I feel somewhat inspired. I need to a little dig through what I've got. See if there's anything I feel like I want to paint up. I do. I need to have a little nosy. Either that, I'll pick something up. Thanks to my budget, I've had to go for the poor man's 8 gig of VRAM on the GPU. Okay. Could I do a paint stream? I've done one once. Actually, I have something that I've not used at all, but I basically have a light/camera that I can use. Excuse me. That I can actually use. So it basically puts a camera that I can sort of aim at my hands while I'm doing stuff. So yeah, actually I could potentially. I really should. Honestly, I keep thinking about doing it and I just forget. But I should. I honestly should do a few of those. The Grey Plastic Legion. See, but they look really good when painted. I have like a really like customized Black Templar Dreadnought that I've not painted. I've got like a bunch of bits I've stuck on it, and it probably will look amazing painted. I've just never gone and painted it. But I really should. It's one of the Primaris Dreadnoughts. But I'm kind of tempted to pick up like a Contemptor Dreadnought or something and like paint it up, potentially. I'm just not sure what Legion. I need to kind of give myself something to be like inspire myself a little bit and like pick a thing, even if it's just one guy, and really kind of go hard on it. Like what I'm tempted to do is pick up the Arbites Kill Team box, and at the very least kit bash my guy from Darktide, and I can do that with the stuff in that box. Definitely painted Helldrake, also Hello Rouge. I see you over on the YouTube side this time. Honestly, Helldrakes are cool, but they're a big boy. They're a big boy. They're really big. And I have no space for them. Like, I want to paint a Chaos Knight, a full Chaos Knight, but oh, they're so big. They're really big, but they're really fucking cool. But they're really fucking big. No problem with Knights, they're huge. I have 2 War Dogs that I need to... I feel like I want to repaint them. I'm going with the kind of the black colour scheme. I forget the name of them, but they're the Chaos House that actually follow Be'lakor. And they're like a sort of a traitor offshoot of a loyalist house. I just thought the lore was pretty cool. They had like an ability where they could like teleport and shit. But I kind of want to repaint them as like that blue kind of house seal place, but maybe a different one. I don't know. I need to dabble in some lore looking. But I mean, Helldrake would be pretty cool. I do like the Helldrake. Like the concept of a Helldrake's just cool. Like it's just categorically cool. I mean, it's a literal mechanical dragon. What more do you want? It's a big fucking dragon. See, if I could have it like where it's landed, that'd be a cool look. Man, YouTube... What's that? Man, YouTube chat is so cringe, can't even do funny emotes here. I've not got any emotes on YouTube, unfortunately. I have to be monetized for that privilege. Remember to like and subscribe on the YouTube side, folks, and that'll help me get monetized. Have you watched the Kill Lupercal series for Hammer Plus? I've only seen clips, but the Knight portrayal is really cool. I've not seen the Knights in it. I didn't know there were Knights. I mean, it makes sense, because it's mostly around a Titan, and there are many knightly houses sort of following Titans, but I was not aware there were Knights in there. I thought it was just the Titan. Okay. I've seen clips myself here and there. I mean, it shows the power of a Titan, which is cool. Like, Titans, like, it's always funny, because, like, people say Space Marines this and that, but, like, they're nothing compared to a Titan. Is it the massive mech they're in, where it's, like, multiple people and the pilot's, like, on a throne? If it's that one, that's a Titan. So Titans... They are... Yeah, so Titans, they're cool, don't get me wrong, they're really cool. There is a game system that lets you use a slightly smaller scale models, and that lets you take Titans. But Titans are... There are also bigger Titans, but those cost like literal like thousands of pounds. It's insane. But Titans are really cool, man. They are just these insane weapons of war. Like the Titan you see in that is a Warlord Titan. It's not the biggest. It's probably the second. It's probably like the third biggest now. But it's a very big mech. I don't know if they're going to show any like other Titans it has to fight, considering it's based on the final days of the Siege of Terra. Because the whole point of it is like it's one last charge because everything looks like it's lost. But I'm kind of curious if you'll see like, because I don't remember what happens to Horus's personal Titan that he has. Because, yeah, he has his own Titan that follows him around, called the Dies Ira. It is a Imperator-class Titan, which is insanely big. It's bigger than the one you see in Kill Lupercal in the clips. It's bigger than that thing. Its firepower... I'll put it this way. The Plasma Annihilator it carries around could rip through a Titan's shield and hull in a single blast. It is extremely dangerous. And by the way, they only got bigger after the Heresy because the modern ones have a literal cathedral on their back, covered in guns. They are stupendously rare. But oof, the firepower. There is the... they could also show the War Master Titan, which is also insanely big. It's not as big as the Imperator, but it's big. Really big. That's the largest Titan that has melee weapons, by the way. We're talking a chainsword the size of a skyscraper, and a power fist big enough to crush part of a skyscraper. It's a bit ridiculous of a melee weapon, I think. But it's a siege Titan, technically. But I'm curious if other Titans show up. I mean, they could have Knights, by the way. Like, Knights do tend to follow the Titans around. It's kind of like a hierarchy. Like, the Knights are considered quite a big deal, but obviously next to a Titan, it's like, oh, hi. because they tower above knights. Though some knights almost get Titan-sized. I forget the name of it. I think it's something like the Knight Plethorion or something. Is almost the size of a Warhound Titan. A Warhound Scout Titan. Yes, they have Scout Titans. Sounds ridiculous, but yeah. Yes, the Warmaster Titan, which is one they introduced for Imperialis, which is the game where everything's shrunk down, is the second largest Titan on record, and it is basically a massive siege engine. It either rocks up with massive guns, or it walks up. It has a bunch of point defense as well, including like weapons on its knees because it's that big. But it also has a melee variant with a massive chainsword. Massive chainsword. It's literal building-sized chainsword. Like, it probably is about skyscraper-sized. At least on the smaller end, anyway. Yeah, why on earth you want melee on something that big, I don't know, but God help anything that it gets into contact with. The one you see in Lupercal, I don't remember if it has a melee weapon, but a Warlord can have a melee weapon. A really big Power Fist, or Power Claw. If you want to know a little fun fact about those, they're used for boarding. No, I'm not even kidding. Quite often there'll be ways for people to get out through the fist to board enemy titans sometimes. So you punch a hole into the titan so you can let people in. Yeah, that happens. There's actual entire, like, armies inside those things. Like, entire Terminator squads of Space Marines have been sent into a Titan to blow up its knees. Just to take it out. Oh, honestly, they use it, but it would be intimidating. It may have had a volcano cannon. I don't remember if there are Titan-sized Volkite weapons. Volkite's a weird one. It's kind of like a direct, like, it's like a laser, but it's like a microwave, actually, like a microwave beam, basically. You've seen Space Marine 2 has them, although it has the Neo Volkite. It's that beam that hits stuff. They were kind of like already rare by the time of the Heresy. I can't remember if there's a Titan-sized one. There's a lot of Titan-sized weapons, but I can't remember if there's a Volkite. But if you mean the Volcano Cannon, that is a Titan weapon, exclusively. It shoots a beam of energy so hot it literally melts rock into molten magma. Or lava, should I say, on the surface. It's pretty insane. And a Warlord... Oh yeah, the Warlord Titan had like 4 of them. Yeah, 4 of them fuckers. I suddenly started staring up at this metal monstrosity blacking out the sun. I remember that the god I prayed to as a child. Legitimately. The Mechanicus worship them. They are called god machines quite often. Or like gods of war. And to be fair, if a Titan were to drop down on modern day Earth, we'd be fucked. Unironically, depending on what lore you listen to, by the way, I don't think a nuke would stop them. Because those things rock void shields. Which are the same kind of things starships have. Some alien races resort to planetary bombardment to stop them. And that doesn't always work. The Tau have to call in spaceships that can go into orbit to shoot them, like the Manta. The Manta isn't that big a starship, but they have to pull that thing into orbit to fight a Titan. There are a few other things they've done recently, but a big Titan, they need a Manta, and the thing is the Manta can't get out of the way of a Titan if it decides to aim its gun at the thing. And the Dark Eldar just run. They genuinely run. Like, the Craftworld Eldar have Titans. The Orcs? Oh, the Orcs have Titans. Some of the Orc Titans get pretty big, actually. Bigger than the Imperiums, sometimes. Yeah. The only Titan or Knight that I remember seeing going down was the one in the Horus Heresy trailer back in... Yeah. And you remember, that took a warship. That was a planetary bombardment weapon used on it. That was a Warlord Titan. That trailer goes hard, by the way. The new trailer's not as good, in my opinion. I like it because it shows off how horrifying disintegration weaponry is. Also, you get to see the Satman Dreadnought, which is cool. But, oh man. The fucking 2022 trailer. Man, that was good shit. Honestly, yeah. It would be a Titan would be an insane boss, though. Like, a Titan, like, put it this way. An Imperial Knight, which is much, much smaller, can, if within a skilled pilot's hands, take down an entire Imperial Guard regiment alone. The Imperial Guard regiment can number in potentially the hundreds of thousands, by the way. There is no army in our history that would actually match an Imperial Guard regiment, potentially. Like, you know in Lord of the Rings, where he says, we need tens of thousands? It's like, my lord, there is no such force. No, in the 41st millennium, tens of thousands is easy. The Guard number in the trillions. But an Imperial Knight can take down thousands of them. If they're not well equipped enough. Like, if they've got super heavy tanks, then they'll be okay. But if they haven't got that shit, then yeah. Yes. Yes, there is. Yeah, that guy's nutty. That orc's kind of nuts. But you fight a knight in that. Yes, shooters and teeth. It's definitely a bit fast and loose on the lore, but it's like, it's an orc game. Fuck it. Listen, the orcs are nuts, okay? They have their own titans, by the way, and their gargants can get insane. You see, one Titan Legion, in particular, in the Imperium at least, was able to teleport their titans down to the ground from orbit. Very advanced technology required for that. Teleportation's difficult. It's more used in 40k than... It's actually one of the few technologies that might have gotten better over 10,000 years. They use it more in 40k. But the orcs, random fucking orc mech boys will just figure out a way to teleport a city-sized gargant just onto the planet. In an explosive ball of lightning. And I think this particular one had a weapon that would magnetically lift something the size of a Warhound Titan and throw it. Aren't Gorkanauts and Borkanauts like the Imperial Knight? Not quite. They're pretty big, but you're thinking of the Stomper. The Orc Stomper's the Knight equivalent. That thing's huge. And Orc Gargants are like Titan-sized. If I told you the Eldar also have Titans, by the way, that can jump. They have Titans that can jump. And they kind of work like Jaegers, by the way. You know, in Pacific Rim, the Eldar Titans work like them and are actually even more maneuverable than them. They can jump, they have limited flight, they have really powerful weaponry. But like many Eldar things, if they get hit with Titan-grade weaponry, they will melt. But the ghost of a dead pilot, because it's weird, Eldar pilots for Titans are twins, which is really rare to be... Eldar don't have children very often, so twins are a big deal. And quite often the twins we put in the Titan. If one twin dies, his spirit stone's put in the Titan, and controls the thing post-death with his brother, or sister, or whatever, like, you know. Yeah, that's a whole thing with them. I think the Wraith Knights are like a smaller equivalent, but they're actual like Titans. There's actually an animation that they did for Warhammer Plus that shows the Eldar Titans. I think it's the one with the Tau in. And an Eldar Ranger's telling this Tau that, look, it's nice that you're believing the galaxy is good and all, but you will eventually become as cruel as the humans. And he also proves the point that, no, you're in a league below us, Tau. As he just, like, opens a webway gate and Titans walk out of it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Unless you're the Dark Eldar, which in that case, you use the power of BDSM and the most horrific torture methods imaginable. Including entire gladiatorial arenas there to basically feed everyone's soul hunger. That's why the witches exist. Now, why they have to be skimpy is a different question. I mean, are we complaining, fellas? Are we complaining? No. You can't fix her, though. She will remove your skull. Painfully. And have you brought back to life to do it again. Yeah, the Dark Eldar are fucked. Like, between them and the Night Lords, the only faction that's probably worse to get captured by than either of them is the Emperor's Children. Only because the Emperor's Children might kill you, but guess who they're giving you to? Slaanesh. And there's nothing you can do to escape eternal suffering in the realm of Slaanesh. Even the Dark Eldar will eventually destroy you, after bringing you back many times. Slaanesh never lets you go. And it's one thing even they're afraid of. But if you want the part of, like, keeping you alive, oof, the Dark Eldar can do some things, man. There's a running joke that they turn you into furniture. It's not much of a joke, it's pretty accurate. They turn you into furniture. Or a hat. Or a screaming wall. I say that like the Night Lords didn't also have a screaming wall that their apothecaries figured out how to keep alive. Which is a whole thing to think about. Their doctors for keep people alive like that. Honestly, I feel like by the time of 30k, the Hippocratic Oath was a dead thing. Very much a dead thing. Them fuckers genuinely... Oh. Human life. No, they didn't care about human life. Not even slightly. Especially some fucking... I've been considering actually making like a list of like a lot of like apothecaries in, and the entire point of the Force is those apothecaries with their like lead apothecary is they're just there to fucking harvest stuff and like document their experiments. They aren't there to be good doctors. That's just a side thing. Emperor's Children might be a good one to run that as. Would mean I need to get some practice on painting a nice rich purple, but they do have a nice, really nice rich purple back in the Heresy. I do like their old colour scheme. The new one's a bit... I know it's meant to be garish, but I'm not big on the kind of black and pink. It's not really for me. I like the purple better. But it will need some conversions. It will. Though I could always take a few things from the 40k Emperor's Children range and mix it in with 30k. Especially if I'm running like corrupted Emperor's Children, which I mean, I would do with that force. The violet, white and gold combo, the old one. It is beautiful, man. Like, they're really tragic. Like, you have to feel sorry for them a bit, because they were these paragons of virtue. Like how the Blood Angels turned into by the end of the Heresy. They were not at the start of the Heresy. Fuck me, they were evil fuckers at the start, but they were paragons of virtue. And Fulgrim was a genuinely good leader. He was a really good leader. Like, the Emperor's Children were a small number bunch, but my god, they made it work. And they have some really beautiful units. Really, really beautiful units. The Paragon Blades, which are just... they're really cool. Like an entire subculture where they're obsessive with, like, becoming better swordsmen. They'll use, like, all sorts of blades, even Xenos weaponry. And then you've got, like, the other end of the Legion, where you've got the Cacophony, which is when they started to fall and dabble into, how shall we say, Slaneshi areas. They love perfection, exactly. Do you know what's funny, though? Their war cry is still for the Emperor, because they like to troll the Imperium. The little troll, whenever they turn up, they always scream for the Emperor. Because they're that much of a bastard. No, I am thinking about maybe having a little, like, essentially get like a box of 30k Marines, a box of the 40k Emperor's Children, mix those two together a little bit, you know, see what I can create. Problem with the Emperor's Children, they became really insecure. Like, really insecure. So they always wanted to be this, like, top dog. And the problem is that they weren't always the top dog. They'd always find some exceptional individual, and then, you know, that would then be the big old thing that would make them all hung up on stuff. The classic case of pride cometh before the fall and all that. My god, were they built on pride. I will say, some of their unit, like the Phoenix Terminators, I wish there was a 40k equivalent to them, but, they're a really cool idea. It's a shame they're kind of and as far as their, like, quality, but, you know, rules-wise, at least. But, I don't know. I do like the look of them. They've got an aesthetic, man. There's something really, like, nice about, like, this really bespoke Baroque armor. But then the person underneath it's probably this, by the end of the heresy, this fucking degenerate. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Rylnor, the Ancient of Rites. That's alright, man. I mean, if you want to be technical, the full name of Terminator armor is Tactical Dreadnought armor. Just to confuse you a bit more there. Yeah, Rylnor was a Chad. He used to have rules. But yeah, Rylnor was a Chad. Looks at his Primarch in the face and says, "I reject you now and always," whilst trying to set off a fucking virus bomb in his face. You know what's funny? If it wasn't for the fact Fulgrim was a demon, he would have died to that thing. Also, a small side note, the Thousand Sons who were there for that event held that thing back using their sorcery. Like, holy shit, that's power. They stopped time around an explosion that would wipe out a planet. Like, just to mention it, that was a virus bomb. When that thing went off, it killed everything on the planet again. Istvan was once again dead after it went off. It wasn't Fulgrim on her, except literally yes. Yeah, that's it. He had a wounded pride. Now, admittedly, being a being of consciousness and belief, that actually does wound him a little bit. In a way. Not permanently, but it's like, he would have felt it. Because having his ego damaged, like, he is his ego now. Like, that's the thing you have to mention, like, to note, he is his ego. Although, back in the Heresy, he actually could switch between his, like, more mortal-looking form and his demonic state. But by that point, when he turned up for Rylnor, he was full demon. He was, like, fully embraced. He only came because he knew it was Rylnor. He wasn't too worried. Like, this is post-slitting Guilliman's throat, Fulgrim. I believe. Here's the thing, actually. Fulgrim's the reason the Imperium's as fucked as it is now, by the way. Because he slit Guilliman's throat. He killed the one man who probably could have kept the Imperium in check. Like, Rogel disappeared at some point, but Guilliman is a statesman. As you're seeing now in modern 40k, he's done a lot of good work. But he could have kept it going. But my god. After he had his throat slit, but I think the Anaphame, if anything, memory serves. Which, is the same weapon that nearly killed Horus. It's why Gilliman was on ice for 10,000 years. They put him in stasis. So, yeah, Fulgrim is unironically the reason things got fucked. Yes. Yes, he did. Rogel disappeared, and then his right-hand man, Sigismund the Chad, by the way, when Abaddon led his first Black Crusade, Sigismund and him fought, and Sigismund nearly fucking killed him. Literally put the Black Blade straight through his Terminator armor. The only reason he died was because Abaddon introduced him to the business end of the Talon of Horus. And if you know anything about the Talon of Horus, no one survived it. The Talon of Horus has wounded the Emperor of Man, no less, has killed Sanguinius dead, and yeah, no one survived the Talon. The Talon's that massive power claw you see in that trailer you mentioned earlier, Balls. The one that just goes smack through a Marine and just lifts him up like it's nothing. That's the Talon of Horus. Whereas the Mace Worldbreaker is destroyed, but the Talon remains. It's literally the symbol now of like anyone who wants to say they're War Master of Chaos has to have that Talon. Like you ain't no War Master without that Talon. But yeah, the fists were a weird one. They very much had more of a character back in the day. But they also had like elements of their like later successors. Like the Templar Sword Brethren, which were like an elite formation that Sigismund led. And that's where the Black Templars came from. All the crazies and the ones who would become religious zealots all went to him. All the problem children, basically. And then all the ones who were reasonable, who didn't stay with the Fists, became the Crimson Fists. But yeah, oof. There is a funny fact of the Fists. I forget his name, but there was a Marine who was getting too swole. I'm not even kidding. They had to tell him to stop lifting. They forbid him from the gym because his gains were so mighty, the Tech Marine had to keep refitting his armor. Because he was a very short Marine, but he was a short king. He just kept lifting. He just kept lifting. The man was he was fucking lift king by the end of it, man. He was a beastly Marine. Short, but a beastly Marine. But yeah, he was forbidden from working out his arms anymore. I can't remember who, I swear it was some kind of like praetor or someone had to go to him and say, look, you are forbade from making your muscles any bigger. The Tech Marines are pissed off and sick of redoing your armor. Because it was literally getting too big for it. I don't know, some Marines were just, I don't know what happened to their gene seed, or if other shenanigans happened, because there are a couple who were just weirdly big. You get the odd one now, like nowadays, but it's like back then it was like a more common thing. I guess there were a lot more potentially back then. The Heresy did weed out quite a few. I mean, the crazy part is somewhere in the galaxy, a bunch of Thunder Warriors survived, I believe. I think there were even some helping in the Siege of Terra, like, against the traitors. Which is wild to me that some of them were still loyal after the purging that happened. That's the whole thing, actually. The very first, like, head of justice for the Imperium tried to arrest the head of the Custodes for killing them guys. I'm not even kidding, she tried it. Unfortunately, her and most of those Thunder Warriors who were present got introduced to the very, very first deployment of the Dark Angels. Because Valdor decided to do a power move and summon the Astartes to remove their predecessors. It was a very one-sided slaughter. As strong as Thunder Warriors are, the Astartes were in their new Mark II power armor and had their new bolt guns, Volkites, and all kinds of plasma shit. They probably had most of the old toys, actually, because they were the Dark Angels. Poor bastards. They probably had, like, Grav and all kinds of bullshit. Yeah, if you wonder where all the weird shit goes, those are them guys, normally. They had a fucking Man of Iron. They had, like, a whole detachment of Men of Iron in their flagship they could drop. specifically to fuck up Mechanicus worlds, because the tech priests can't do shit to the Men of Iron. Their hymns and like rituals do nothing to them, and in turn the Men of Iron just hit them with binoric bullshit that just breaks their stuff. And obviously they're an incredibly powerful war machine, like incredibly powerful. Like I think they encountered some in last stages, like last battles of the Unification Wars, which there were some fucking bad ones. Like some of the descriptions you hear, like they had like machines that could eat worlds, like just literally eat them. All kinds of bullshit, man. It was Men of Iron are crazy. They sound really cool. I kind of want a faction of them to exist, even if like Chaosified or something. But there's only one we know of, and he's in the Blackstone Fortress game. He's that one like robot guy. He's a fully sentient being. And yeah, he's I can't remember now. He doesn't like completely hate all of humanity, but he will kill to protect his secret that he exists. Because if anyone finds out he's around, I'm not kidding, an army will be sent to kill him. Because there are scant records of them, but every record is the Emperor going, they need to be destroyed. They nearly killed all humanity. We got a bit too ahead of ourselves and making thinking machines. Classic Skynet situation. You'll love to see it. Unless you're on the receiving end, of course. So my back is just stiff as fuck. Oh, fucking hell. I will blow my nose after the stream, I swear. I was fine, then. Oh, yeah. Yep. Hell, AI in 40k stands for Abominable Intelligence, not Advanced Intelligence. Advanced Intelligence is Abominable. Advanced Intelligence? I mean... Artificial intelligence. I'm dumb. But I don't know why why did I forget the acronym AI? What the fuck? But yeah, in 40k it's Abominable Intelligence. Like, it's seen as an abomination. Like, you wouldn't see any use of AI in 40k. Not officially. There are examples. But 100%. AI is considered abominations. It's why the League of Votan hide their AI very, very heavily. The Tau also use it a bunch, and so far it's not bit them in the ass, but considering you've got things like Vashdor around in the universe who can corrupt machines, and it happens to the League of Votan, their Ironkin brethren started going all chaosy. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in their predicament. Put it that way. Excuse me. I wouldn't want to be in their predicament. It's not exactly something that goes well. God, I guess it's not. Jesus. Yeah, as I was saying, for those who were in the advert, AI in 40k is considered abominable intelligence rather than artificial. It's treated like an abomination. And to be fair, but in 40k, most instances of AI will go rogue, will try and kill everyone, because it will eventually hit the logic. I don't kill everyone, I will be infected with chaos, but chaos requires life. If I destroy all life, no chaos. It is almost inevitable it will hit that point. Very rare cases it doesn't. The Tau is one of them, but that's because they barely have a trace in the warp. But they're starting to get noticed. For example, Commander Farsight nearly fell to Khorne multiple times. But people like Tau who use the Ghost Keel battlesuit, that thing has an AI in it, and actually the AI ends up becoming like... You know those people who like kind of fall in love with AI and get obsessed with them and spend all their time with AI? That's kind of how Ghost Keel pilots get, because they're like these stealth operatives who go out of their way in these really cool, like, Titanfall-esque, like, mech suits. There's a lot of nice conversions that people have done, make them look like the whole, like, crouching, sitting on the hand kind of thing, like Titanfall. So you have that, you can open the cockpit up and then like a Titan. If I'm Titanfall. But, yeah, they get, like, really attached to AI and become extremely antisocial. And I guess when you spend, like, so much time in this advanced mech suit that just turns perfectly invisible and scrambles stuff and you're way outside of friendly lines, I guess I could see how it could happen. It's the only thing keeping you company. Those guys, like, hyper rare, put that way. Like, you've got the stealth suits, the little stealth suits, you see? But the Ghost Keel's like a whole different caliber. Hence why it's got the AI and all the other suites of stuff in there. But the Tau use a lot of AI. Well, their drones use AI. But then you've got the Leagues of Votann. The Votann themselves, the actual machines known as the Votann, are AI. Really advanced AI that are filled to the brim with STC constructs, which is how the Leagues of Votann have so much Golden Age technology. But also how they have their Ironkin, which are like... They're considered like people by them. Like, they're sentient. But they have to be really careful on the Admech. I am curious if they'll, like, expand on the Leagues of Votann roster a bit. Because they could do with it, honestly. Like, I heard rumours about, like, a massive, like, Lord of War level war machine that the Votann can upload, like, their consciousness into. To, like, take over and, like, fight. Which would be kind of cool. But yeah, they're AI. The problem is, you've got things like Vashdor, who is this... He is basically a Chaos demigod. He is the Lord of the Soul Forge. If you remember from Total War Warhammer, the Soul Forge is this, like, neutral ground where, like, soul grinders are made. But in 40k, it's ruled over by Vashdor the Arcathane, who is this Chaos arms dealer, almost. He has insane power over innovation and technology. He's technically becoming the Chaos God of innovation, but unchecked innovation. He can fuck with any machines, he can instantly repair things, like even the Vengeful Spirit, which is a titanic vessel. He just snaps his fingers and sends, like, chaotic energy through the whole ship and repairs it instantly. He made these, like... He basically converted entire Space Hulks into these Dreadnought-class warships that Chaos were using for a while. It's a whole thing. He's not quite omnipotent, though. Yet. But he wants to become a 5th Chaos God. But he essentially has access to all kinds of, like, war engine stuff, and he's very good friends with the Dark Admech, who I hope get a roster at some point, because, God, seeing their stuff be cool. Because they have completely gone off the deep end of innovation. Because if you're wondering, the tech priests in 40k ban innovation nowadays. You have to rediscover, you can't make something new. Which is a bit backwards, but it's what happens when you blend in way too much religious zeal with technology. Unfortunately, the technology requires it to work. So, you know, if the tech priest says you've got to oil it up and do a little prayer, you got to oil up, do a little prayer. Machine spirit demands back shots, and brother, you better be ready to give them. It's the only way to repair them. Before anyone asks, no, that is not how repairing me works. Thank you very much. Before anyone asks the question, no. It's not how I get repaired. Or, as will soon be the case, heavily modified. Yes. I feel like, you know what? Before we wrap things up, chat, shall I show you something? I think I should show you something. Those of you who are still here. I think I should show you a little something. 1 second, chat. I want to show you a little something. 1 second. Where is it? I'm not going to show you the full thing. But I am going to show you something. 1 sec. Let me put this on here for you real quick. 1 second, where is it? I always forget. Image, there we go. Add source. Add a new source. Source temp. Add source. And I want it from here. So. Ta-da! What do you think? I know it's a very classy angle. But, what are we thinking? You'll see a lot more of that soon, don't worry. But what are we thinking? We liking or we loving? And boop. He gone. But yeah, a little something I wanted to show you all. That's a little something cooking up in the background. A purity seal on the new model. Ah, you know. Might be too late now. Might be too late about the second outfit. But if I do have something a bit more 40k looking, I will do some purity seals. I can more easily get outfits for this upcoming model, by the way, because of the sort of the base I've got. I did see a really, a cool bit of artwork. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's an AdMech version of Zentreya. It looked fucking beautiful. The wings look nutty, I will say. Like, the Mechadendrite wings look fucking nutty. But never say never. I've been wondering if I was to ever, alter my style a little bit, would I want, wings that are a bit more, full-on wings rather than the sort of shards? I don't know. It'd be a far future thing, but I don't know if it's too... It might be too late now to add it on, because I think the second outfit's getting rendering and stuff, but definitely, if I ever get a third outfit, which, again, very doable, then I will... Well, for one, how about this, chap? Little dealio. I will allow you guys a big say in it. How about that? I mean, to be fair, I'll let you guys have a big say in whether I want that design at all. But the next outfit, down the road, when I decide to get one, I'll make sure you guys are included. Really included. If you want to send references to use for it and stuff, that kind of thing. So keep that one in the back of your mind, balls. You may well get your purity seal on model. To be fair, they do look really nice. I do love a good purity seal. That dreadnought I did. I've got loads of little paper bits, and I think I've even got there's a book I managed to steal from the Skaven Plague Monk set that I've got on his shoulder. Honestly, I might paint that up on stream at some point. I need to base it first. I might see if I've got any spray left over. Or I might buy some black spray to spray it up with. Being it's Black Templar, but oof. Yeah, but don't worry, man. We'll have some. We'll have something like that down the road, I think. But my dearest sinners, I'm afraid I must love you and leave you. I do apologise. It has come that time. I will dearly miss you, but I will know that I will get to see you all once again tomorrow for some Total War Warhammer. Because we're getting back to the meat and potatoes, chap. Back to the main dish. I've dabbled around other things, I've tried other stuff. I've had a little break, but Total War's sitting there like a seductive MILF, begging me to take a bite. And simply put, chat, I am salivating. So, bite I shall take in meaty chunks. And I hope you'll all join me as we tuck into a very girthy broth of Tamakin. That reminds me, I'd make a thumbnail tonight. I will make a thumbnail tonight. But once again, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I do hope you'll join me tomorrow for some Total War. We'll be getting all nurgled up. Don't forget, we have redeems for naming things, by the way, so if you want to name a unit or name a hero or anything like that, a good use of your points. There are a few new things you can do with points, by the way. Do check them out. There's even an outfit toggle. Yes, you can switch me to an outfit if you like, or vice versa, if I decide to start with an outfit. The same will, of course, will be the case for the next one, too. But, anyway, chat, you've been a pleasure as always. You have a wonderful day, night, whatever time it is for you, and I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow, hopefully. Do rest up well. We're going to have a nice and big, long stream tomorrow, hopefully. And on Sunday, by the way, we have another Dark Heresy session. So if you like TTRPGs and you like 40k, and you want to see me go from ranting about 40k to DMing something in 40k, then Sunday is a good day to drop by. But enough shilling. Good night, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Until next time, I've been Baron Zark Cabral, your faithful cyber angel. Till tomorrow. Ta for now.